Good morning, guys. So I talked about limited company versus sole trader, and I wanted just to explain why I was asking that question. It's a question people ask all the time, actually. They say, especially startups when they're starting, like, how should I incorporate my business? Should I be a sole trader? Should I be a limited company? So I was kind of asking from that perspective, because it's always nice for people to be able to identify people and say, oh, why did you set up a limited company in the first place? But also, it's interesting to see who I'm connected with as well, right? Like, I want to know more about the people I'm connected with. So I'm going to ask some of these questions just to sort of, I always call it poking the bear. And it's just, sometimes it's a bit of a controversial topic, a bit more of a debatable topic, like my networking for women one this week. Other times it's just to sort of understand who I'm communicating with, and you know, ultimately I use Facebook for work, so I want to communicate with you, engage with you more, and just understanding that who's in my friends network helps me find better ways to communicate with you as well. But I think it's interesting for me, when I set up the company, I had the choice of sole trader or a limited company. I actually started, my first business was a social enterprise. When we looked at that, it was called Engage Multimedia. It was quite a while ago. I ran it with a woman called Becky, and we set up the social enterprise. It was about helping the community understand IT and sort of social media in general. It was about maybe 10 years ago, 7, 8, 10, something like that. It was quite a while ago. And we did little training courses for like the local community. So I remember training an 80-year-old how to use a laptop. She didn't know what a right click was, you know. But we set up as a social enterprise because it allowed us to get access to funding. It wasn't quite a limited company, but there was a lot of restrictions around that as well. And then when I set up my first limited company, I looked at what that meant, and it was more about the liability, I think. So if anything should go wrong to that company, everything was restricted within the company. Yes, there's more paperwork, as someone mentioned, to do with that, and it's certainly from an accounting point of view, it costs you a bit more money for accountancy fees and things, or it seems to be. So it was more about the understanding that, you know, if you're a sole trader, if you get sued, you get sued. If something should go wrong, you know, whereas with a limited company, it's the company that takes that liability, and then it's the company that gets sued. So you're kind of protected really as a director in some ways, unless you do something really dodgy like fraud. You're not protected then. Nobody is. That's a legal issue, that. But by having a limited company, you're just protecting yourself a little bit. So it's a good thing to think about from when you're starting up. But also, if you're a sole trader now and you're thinking, should I move to limited company? It's about the protection for yourself, really. For me, I was very keen to make sure that was the case. So yeah, I hope that helps understand why I asked the question. A little bit of curiosity, a little bit to understand who you guys are, and also to have that conversation as well, I think, which is quite important for a lot of people. Okay, that's it for today.